Appendix carry, 4 o'clock, single stack, double stack. In this video, the evolution of my EDC concealed carry, coming up. Alright, so on the desk here, we got the 3 firearms that I have progressed through for my EDC. I am not the type of person that has an EDC different for each of the seasons. Phoenix is hot during the summer and not so hot during the winter, so the clothing doesn't change that much. So my EDC, I don't change it from season to season. So right here we got the Springfield XD40 subcompact. This is my very first EDC carry. This is before the Micro 9s started coming out, and I believe that I even bought this before the XDS came out. I bought it in 40 because at that time I fell into the whole debate of stopping power. I am not arguing that a 40 will do more damage than a 9mm or vice versa, that a 9 is going to do more damage. That's not what I'm getting into. I don't remember who it was. It might have been James Yeager. I know that he hates 40s, but it might have been him. I don't remember who it was, but one of the things that made a whole lot of sense to me about stopping power is which has more stopping power? 2 out of 10 rounds on target of 40, or 9 out of 10 rounds, or 6 out of 7 rounds of 9mm on target. Like, what's going to have more target or more stopping power if you can land more shots on target of a lower caliber? So if you can get 10 out of 10 rounds of 22 long rifle, but you can get 0 out of 10 rounds of 9mm on target, again, what is going to be more effective? So when I bought the 40, I fell into that trap, and that's why my first everyday carry was in 40 caliber. It's not because of the 40 caliber that I went to 9mm. It has nothing to do with that. It's the fact that this is a brick. It's very chunky, and when you are 5'10 and 132 pounds on a fat day, this is huge. I was carrying this guy in a Fox hybrid holster. A hybrid holster is basically a piece of leather with a piece of Kydex attached to the outside of it, which was definitely comfortable considering how big this was. It was definitely comfortable for me to carry. I no longer have that holster. I was able to give that to somebody else that was going to use it because I don't carry this one anymore, so I didn't need the holster anymore. But this was my first one, and I definitely didn't hate it. And this gives you 9 plus 1 for a total of 10 rounds. So I bought this over the Glock, and I think it was the Glock 19 that Terry at Sportsman's showed me. It was between this and I believe it was the Glock 19 that I was looking at. It may have been the Glock 26, but I don't remember because it's been so long. It's been nearly 20 years, so yeah, I don't really remember. I bought the Springfield because of the breakdown. That is the whole reason I bought the Springfield, because you have to bring the slide all the way back and lock it back. And as somebody, when I bought this, I was new to shooting. So somebody new to shooting, I think it's better getting something like this where you are forced to open it up and lock it back before having to release it and pull the trigger. So I think that's a little bit safer of a design for somebody that is new to firearms and trying to get used to them than, say, the breakdown of a Glock. That's my opinion, and everybody's got their own. So because it's so large and I am so thin, I wanted to get something a little bit more comfortable. So then the Springfield XDS came out. This is a single stack 9mm. It holds 7 plus 1, so I'm holding 8 rounds versus 10 rounds of 40. So I'm just going down 2 rounds, but again, if I can be more accurate with this than I can with this, then I don't feel like it's a downgrade. The design is pretty much identical. The takedown's the same. You got the grip safety, and people complain about the grip safety, but if I'm holding this in a way that I don't have that depressed, I probably don't want it to go off anyway, because I don't have a very good grip on this. It's going to malfunction, it's going to limp wrist, and whatever else. I can understand people's complaints, but I don't feel like the 1911 has that many issues with it having a grip safety. But I also carried this in essentially a hybrid holster, except it is a different design. Instead of having a big piece of hot leather that doesn't breathe, it has a different type of material here. This is from Stealth Gear USA. They are not sponsoring the channel. I paid for this with my own money. And as far as hybrid holsters go, Stealth Gear is where it's at. I love their hybrid holsters. So if you're going to carry at 4 o'clock and you want a holster like this, I highly suggest Stealth Gear USA. My XDS doesn't really fit in here anymore because I remolded this to a different gun, so it doesn't fit in here anymore. But I carried my XDS in this holster for quite a while. You can see some of the rust that built up on here, and I didn't have any issues, and this is a very comfortable holster. That's what they call it, vent core technology. But I carried the XDS here at 4 o'clock in this holster, and it was definitely comfortable, although carrying it at 4 o'clock means that you're sitting on it in your vehicle. That started, first of all, it's not terribly comfortable. Second of all, it's not really good for the seat in your vehicle. It kind of starts wearing, and I do have a wear mark on the seat of my Tacoma that I'm not too thrilled about. But I don't carry it like this anymore. So now that brings me to my current EDC, which has been the P365. I have been carrying this for about 5 years now, but up until like a week ago, I had the standard length grip on here. This is the XL length grip, so this would be considered the P365X setup. So it's got the long grip, the shorty slide. I have been carrying the standard length grip with the 10 round flush fit magazine and really haven't had any issues with it. You can see that my pinky gets most of the way onto the grip because I have small hands. In other videos I've talked about that, so you may have heard me already. So I can get most of my hand on the standard length grip. I just wanted to try it out and try carrying it like this. So I grabbed an extra grip module off from Gunbroker just because I didn't want to take my 365 XL apart and use it, because I do carry this all the time and you can see all the wear and the dirt on it. And yes, I would like to keep this one just a little bit nicer, so I didn't want to get this one all gross. So I just got a different grip module, and it was used, no big deal, but still in perfectly good condition for me since I'm going to carry it. If you've seen any of my DIY videos, you may or may not have seen this on my hip with the standard grip module, but that's why, I mean, it gets all dirty and I'm doing stuff onto my truck or yard work or whatever, and that's on me, so it gets pretty dirty. So I just didn't want to mess up the other one, so I got a different grip module. Now you might ask me, why didn't I just carry the 12 round magazine in the standard grip? Because the flush mag is 12 rounds. This is also 12 rounds with the 12 round magazine with this extended base plate. The difference is this is pretty much just flat down the side here. So it's a different feel compared to the XL grip because there's a little bit of a flare right here at the bottom, and it just feels different. It feels a little bit more natural, a little bit more ergonomic, and kind of pushes your finger up because of that little ledge. This one doesn't do that. Is it bad? No. But again, I'm just trying it out. If I find that I don't like it, then I can always switch it back. The holster that I've been carrying it in is from Vetter, and I've been carrying it in the appendix position. I apologize, I don't remember who this pad is from. I did get that and put that on there. It's just Velcro. So I added a piece of Kydex to drop the clip down. Dropping the clip raises the entire holster up. So for the lowest position that it could go in wasn't high enough, at least for my liking. So I just had to add a piece of Kydex so that I could relocate the mount and drop it down just a little bit. And that works for me. That's my DIY on the holster. And then I carry it with a 15 round magazine and the Vetter mag carrier. All right, so this is me, 5'10", and 132 pounds, 33 pounds on a fat day. So I'm not very big, but this is where I used to carry it, was back here. My situation, I was having to start to tuck in my shirt and carry a backpack. I didn't have any way that I was trying to figure it out. And I felt like the XDS was just too big, so I was trying to shrink it down a little bit. And that's why I remolded the Kydex on the Stealth Gear to hold the Glock 42. So I don't really count the Glock 42 as part of my evolution, although I did carry it for a matter of a couple of days at best. It just didn't really work for my needs. Some of the challenges to carrying at the 4 o'clock, I already said about sitting against it in the vehicle. So on long drives, I wouldn't want to sit against it. I was concerned about the wear I was putting on my seat in my truck. So I ended up getting a ram mount holster to attach to my seat so I could take it out of my holster and put it in that one. The problem with that is sometimes I would get out of the truck and I forget to grab it. That's another issue. Another thing is it happened a lot of times at Lowe's. I would go to Lowe's to get parts or whatever for various projects, and then I would kneel down towards an aisle or something like that, and I'd bend over, and then my shirt would come up, and then I'm constantly doing one of these, and I'm trying to check to make sure that it's still covered and people aren't freaking out, and then I'm trying to do one of these to make sure that my shirt's covered in it, and it's just got kind of annoying. And a lot of times it would come uncovered, and then Chantel would grab my shirt and like pull it down, and just to make sure that I'm covered, because people see a gun and they just freak out. So that was another one of the issues. And like I said, having a backpack and a gun right here is very uncomfortable. It's very awkward to have your backpack there, and then it just doesn't lay right, and it's kind of annoying. Also, the last thing is that this holster being where it's at is not the easiest to get in and out, especially when you're needing to tuck a shirt in over it. It's not uncomfortable by any means during everyday usage. I guess another one of the things that is a problem is sitting in a chair. In certain chairs, it would be an issue. I've also had to get caught on the back of the chair because of where it's at. Those are some of the challenges that I ran into carrying it at the 4 o'clock position. So that's what led me to appendix. So we have the mag carrier, and then we have the setup with the Vetter, which is really easy to put in. You saw how easy it is to put the mag carrier in, and then the gun itself, nice and easy. And we're ready to go. So it's really easy to put in and take out if you need to. Now, you might be asking, why did I go with 2 separate instead of something like a tier 1 concealed holster or any of those that are just kind of one unit with a flexible piece in the middle? The issue that I had, and I did try the tier 1 concealed out before I went to the Vetter, they are connected in the middle and they hang down kind of low in the middle. So when I go potty and I try and get my wiener out, the holster would be in the way and I wouldn't be able to get my wiener out, and that would be Might be because of where I wear my pants or my shorts. It could be due to the size of my pee-pee. I mean, it could be a number of things. But the Tier 1 conceal holster was in the way, and I could not go potty very easily. With it being 2, there's a gap here, and I don't have any issues. It's like right down the zipper, and it makes it a lot easier to get my pee-pee out so that I can go potty. So that's why I went with the 2 system rather than 1 holster. Now, I'm sure there's plenty of people that frown against appendix carry, but I find that that is the most comfortable for me. That is the best for me. I don't have an issue with carrying it right here. When I sit down, it is not pointed towards my genitals. It's pointed more towards my leg, which I would actually be more concerned about because that femoral artery is no joke. If I shoot a testicle off, it doesn't matter because I have a vasectomy. My balls are just for show. So if I got rid of them, it'd just be doing me a favor. They get in the way and they're really uncomfortable to sit on, and they're just getting lower. There shouldn't be an issue because the trigger is completely covered. I'm not sitting there playing with it and fondling it. I'm not taking it in and out when it's pointed at those things. I mean, I know there's controversy about it. I don't have an issue with it. Also, okay, so if you have a gun sitting on a table and you're walking around and you walk in front of it, did you just point the gun at yourself? Same thing. Did I just point the gun at myself if I sit down and it's pointed at certain things? My hand's not on it. Am I pointing it at those things? A little bit of a question for you. What do you think? And if you're curious, I am using a Next belt. This is my absolute favorite belt. It's got a little small buckle over here. It's their appendix carry belt, I think. It's pretty small. It's a little thicker front to back, but I love this belt. This is my favorite belt. Next belt did not send this to me for free. I paid for it. Same thing with the Vetter stuff. Nobody has sent me anything for free. I am not a big enough channel. I don't have any sponsors. I've paid for everything myself, which also means I can be totally honest with you. So I guess some of the takeaways, if you are looking for maybe your first concealed carry or some ideas to change your concealed carry up, here's some of the takeaways that I have. Don't fall into the whole stopping power argument. Do the caliber that is best for you, that you are most comfortable with. If you are most comfortable with a 45, carry a 45. If you're most comfortable with a 380, carry a 380. Doesn't matter what other people say or think. It matters what works best for you. That's the same thing that goes with holsters and belts. Sometimes it's just going to take having to buy several. I mean, we all have drawers of holsters and belts and stuff like that that we've tried out and maybe like or don't like. My favorite belts are going to be Next Belt and Core Essentials, although I like Next Belt about that much more. The hybrid holsters for 4 o'clock, I like Stealth Gear. Some people may not. There's also Fox. I don't remember the original company that did the hybrid, but they were more expensive than Fox. But there's plenty of companies, there's plenty of holsters, there's plenty of firearms options. There's a lot of people that are huge Glock fans and swear by Glocks. I'm not a big fan of Glocks. I own 2. I own the 48 and I own the 42. This setup also lends better to me being able to tuck in my shirts. Although when I tuck in my shirt, I usually don't use the Next Belt. I usually use the Core Essentials. So I hope that helps some of you out there, guide you in a direction that you may want to go. But that's been my journey, and that's it for this video. We'll catch you on the next project. See ya.